Hello! I figured I'd do a little video on how to use the Patriot chipper shredder. The shredder actually is the harder part. The chipper is really straightforward. I'll show you how to clog the shredder, how to fix the clogs, and in general how to take care of it. This is no substitute for the manual, but it should give us a little bit of a visual guide as far as how to use it correctly. So for the Patriot chipper shredder, we bought this 100-foot cord from them that extended our warranty. So please use that when you are chipping and shredding. This is the fill bag. It's pretty straightforward. I actually attached some of the instructions to the chipper shredder so you can kind of get a little reminder. I did cross out the areas that are for gas because this is an electric motor. When you are plugging in your chipper shredder, please make sure that you're going into a wall outlet that is isolated. So if you have a saw, a bunch of lights, a heater, whatever, plugged into the same circuit, then you try to plug in your chipper shredder, it will actually throw the circuit breaker. So the first step that we already went through was to make sure there's nothing clogging the shredder, make sure the hopper is empty, there's nothing jamming it up. Sometimes in storage, a rock, stick, whatever could fall in there. Make sure your chipper is clear. Next step is you're going to grab your catch bag. And the instructions for Patriot were that you want to pull the drawstring of your bag partially, then put it over your outlet. You want to hook it in to these little hooks at the top and the bottom. That'll just keep it on there secure. The reason you don't want to just put it on the bottom and then tighten it up, you want to pre-tighten it a little bit, is that as the chipper is running, it vibrates and it'll slowly loosen the bag. Which all that means is that your material is going to fall out on the ground, which is just annoying rather than dangerous. I apologize for moving the camera around. It's hard to do this with one hand. So once you get your bag securely over the outlet, just move your bunches around a little bit. That will disperse the pleats and cause it to stay on a little bit better. So now that the bag is nice and tight on there, I can see that it's attached fully. My material isn't going to spill out. I want to touch the inside flap to make sure it still moves. If I jammed it down, then no material would come out and that would damage the machine. All right. Periodically while you're shredding or chipping, you want to check your bag. Again, if it overfills, it kind of backflows into the machine, which isn't very good for it. So be cautious of that. So you've checked that you're empty, you've attached your bag. Now it's time to plug in your machine. Never ever stick your hand in the machine or do anything that could cause you to get injured while it's plugged in. So even if it's off, definitely unplug it before putting your hand in the hopper or anything crazy like that. It's better to avoid that in general, but sometimes to declog it, you might have to get in there a little bit. All right, now that you're ready, turn it on. Stir it with a stick. What can work is inserting a stick on the side and actually stirring it up. What you're trying to do is fluff the leaves out so that it can flow back down. It is better to avoid this, but it's pretty inevitable that one of us will get impatient example, I clogged the hopper by filling it way too much. I inserted the stick on one side and curled it up towards me. So it's not that you're jamming the material deeper into the hopper, that does not work. You insert the stick and you lift and you fluff it. Because the mistake you had made is overfilling, just jamming the material down, even though that's intuitive, does not work with this machine. The best way to shred is to fill it slowly from the top, little bits at a time, and I know that can be frustrating, but if you do it right, the job is a lot faster. If you continue to clog it, declogging takes more time than if you had just done it right in the first place. Things to chip today. I'm mostly doing leaves, but I will show you a few branches and how to undo a clog in that case. Actually, I thought that big fistful of branches would clog it, and I ended up not clogging it. So, in general, if you were to clog it, you would. The first step would be to turn it off. Wait until it completely shuts down. So it's still spinning right now, which means I don't want to put my hand in there. Still see it spinning on the outside. That's actually a good indicator that it's still moving if you couldn't hear it very well. Usually for a clog in the chipper hopper, or the chipper tube, what has typically happened is you've inserted something like this. You have something that's maybe skinny enough to go through. It's under the 2.5 inch diameter, but it has a little branch coming off of it that could stop it from going to the bottom. Or you've shoved in just a big fistful of branches. If again that happens, turn it off, wait until it completely stops, and pull everything back out. It's really all you need to do. Once you've cleared it, you should be able to restart the chipper, and you'll be just fine. Really, the only times I've had to rinse out the chipper repeatedly was when I was attempting to shred wet mugwort. So the leaves of the mugwort were wet and kind of soft, but the stems were too rigid to shred. So I was trying to throw them through the chipper. And what that did was build up a pulp of material, like on the bottom of your lawnmower where you build up all these grass clippings, and that made like a cement. And so I had to stop, turn off the Patriot, unplug it, remove the fill bag, tip it on its side, or even tip it upside down completely, and spray it out with water. What I sometimes did, and actually I do not know if this is recommended by Patriot, so maybe don't do this, but what I did was grab a wrench and rotate this manually. The reason I did that was trying to get the pulp out of the hammers and out of the blade while I was spraying water into it. That worked very well for me. Patriot only recommends that you tip it on its side and spray it aggressively with water. They probably would recommend that you don't let it pulp up like I did as well, but that is a way to fix it if you make the same mistake I did. Alright, when you're all done with your chipper, just remove your bag. Well, turn it off, of course. Let it completely stop. Remove your mag. And I try to inspect it a little bit. You clear it out. Again, I was shredding some pretty dry stuff today, so I should be good to just kind of put it away in storage. Usually good practice is to spray it out with some water. Let it run for a few minutes so it dries out on the inside, and then put it away in storage. Again, if you had shredded something that was like really wet and it makes that kind of soggy buildup inside the machine, you have to clear that out every single time. If you allow that to dry inside of the machine, it'll create like almost like a cement or concrete material. It's very unpleasant, and you'd have to really scrape it out later. So it's better to remove it right away before you store it. Otherwise, the next person who pulls it out, which is probably you, is going to be rather mad that they have to chip away this dry leaf pulp. That is really it. Feed the shredder slowly, shredder is the top part. Feed it slowly. If you clog it, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Just either fluff up the material so it can fall in like it was meant to, or turn it off and remove a bunch of the material so you can do it correctly in the first place. Please read the manual. The manual is very in-depth. It is long, so it can be a little tiresome, but really they put a lot of work into making sure you would use it correctly. The only times people have had a hard time with it is using it incorrectly, getting frustrated, and then taking it apart or just giving up on it completely. I do actually recommend this chipper. I think it's done a really great job, especially if you're just shredding leaves or chipping small wood in your backyard. All right, hope you have a great day.